Good afternoon children, good afternoon all. Welcome to DCEB Suryapet Khammam District Bioscience online classes. Myself T. Prasanna, working as CRP Biological Science in KJBV Palakvidu, Suryapet District. Children, as you know we are discussing the chapter that is challenges in improving agricultural products. Today let us know about the topic that is organic manure, green manure crops. Organic manure and green manure crops. First, let us know what is organic manure. Organic manure, how it is produced. Organic manure is produced by decaying the plant and animal waste. Organic manure is produced by decaying the plant and animal waste. This plant and animal waste will be decomposed with the help of microorganisms and mixed with the soil. They add nutrients to the soil. Here, by addition of organic manure to the soil, that increases the amounts of nutrient percentage in the soil. By using organic manure, increases the amounts of nutrients in the soil and also gives good property to the soil to maintain soil health in balance. Gives good property to the soil to maintain soil health in balance. And also usage of organic manure or addition of organic manure to the soil increases water holding capacity. Increases water holding capacity. Means holds the water for a longer time and also increases water retaining capacity by applying of organic manure. And by using the organic manure also increases the humus and soil fertility. Here increases the formation of more humus. Humus is nothing but it is a top layer rich in organic material. Rich in organic material. Okay, most of the organic material is more in this humus layer. Also, whenever the soil is supplemented with all kinds of nutrients, then the soil is called as fertile. So, by addition of organic manure increases the soil fertility and also for the formation of humus. So these are the advantages of using organic manure. Then now let us see how many types this organic manure is divided. Organic manure is divided into two types. First one, concentrated organic manure. Concentrated organic manure. The second one, macro-organic manure. Macro-organic manure. Let us know about first concentrated organic manure. Concentrated organic manure consists of or comprised of mainly seed residues or plant residues. Simply saying plant residues, especially the seed residues. Concentrated organic manure comprised of seed residues or plant residues. These we used to see farmers grow some type of crops for oil production. That seed oil production, oil producing seed crops, what are they? Like sunflower, coconut, gingerly, sunflower, coconut, gingerly, then neem, jatropha. The seeds of sunflower, coconut, gingerly, neem, jatropha and like the groundnut. So the seed, from the seed powders The seed powders are used as concentrated organic manure. Used as concentrated organic manure. Actually, the oil producing these, whenever these oil seeds are pressed in the machines, oil will be separated, and also pulp will be remain. Pulp or cake will be remaining there. So when oil is, after extracting the oil from the seeds, the pulp or cake, that is also called as oil seed cake. Cake is remained. So this is rich in nutrient. This oil seed pulp or oil seed cake is rich in nutrient percent. So this can be used as a organic manure that comes under the concentrated organic manure. But these seed residues are available in less quantities. So farmers use these seed cakes fodder for cattle and poultry. The seed powders are seed cakes. Seed cakes they use as fodder for cattle and poultry. And this is about seed residues. Plant residues means when we after harvesting the crop, the plant residues like stalks and roots of the plant will be remains in the soil. Then they will be decomposed after plowing. They will be decomposed and they also add nutrients to the soil. So the seed residues and plant residues comes under concentrated organic manure. Next, coming to the macro-organic manure. Macro-organic manure is comprised of animal excreta, compost, deep litter. The excretions of animals like cow dung, urine, these are the excretions of animals, and dung, urine of cattle like cow, sheep, goats. These are all comes in the animal excretions. From the animal excretion are compost for the deep litter. Deep litter means the excretions are produced from the poultry farms. Okay, these are our macro-organic manure. Here, macro-organic manure is also rich in nutrient content. But when compared to concentrated organic manure and macro-organic manure, the concentrated organic manure is rich in nutrients compared to macro-organic manure. But here, this is available in less quantities. So this can be used as a fodder for the cattle and poultry. Here, most of the farmers prefer to use these animal excretions, compost or deep litter as a manure, organic manure in the soil. Now, so children, organic manure is generally mean that it is a plants and animal wastages. Plant wastage means the stalks and roots of the plant will be remains in the soil, and also animal waste means animal excretions like cow dung, urine of the cow or goats or sheep. So these are together called as a organic manure. Okay, now let's study about the table 5. Observe the table 5 here. This table 5 here indicating that percentage of various nutrients elements in organic manure. The percentage of various nutrient elements in 1 ton of organic manure. Here in goat manure, the nitrogen percent is 5 to 7 kgs. 5 to 7% of nitrogen is present in goat manure, and 4 to 7% of phosphorus is present in goat manure, and 3 to 4% of potassium is present in goat manure. So goat manure having the 5 to 7% of nitrogen, 4 to 7% of phosphorus, 3 to 4% of potassium. Coming to dry compost. Dry compost comprised of 5 to 10% of nitrogen, 3 to 9% of phosphorus, 3 to 10% of potassium. Actually, this dry compost is 5 to 10, 4 to 8, 6 to 12. Next, dry organic manure. Dry organic manure is having the percentage of having the 4 to 15% of nitrogen, 3 to 9% of phosphorus, and 3 to 10% of potassium. Dry organic manure is actually the mixture of cow dung, hay, urine. Cow dung, hay means choppa, we call in Telugu, choppa gaddi, that is this cow dung and hay plus urine, they dried and formed dry organic manure. Next, neem powder. Neem powder consists of 5 to 6% of nitrogen, 1 to 2% of phosphorus, 1 to 2% of potassium in neem powder. Like next, vermicompost. Vermiculture, you know the vermiculture, the rearing of earthworms in large quantities, that is vermiculture. Vermicompost is having the 1 to 3% of nitrogen, 1 to 2% of phosphorus, 1 to 2% of potassium in vermicompost. So these are different kinds of organic manures, and what is the percentage of nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium in them. So by this table we observe. Now let us do a problem. Suppose if a paddy crop is grown in a field, 5 tons of crop is harvested. If a paddy crop is grown in a field, 5 tons of yield is rice is harvested. Then calculate from table 3 how much nutrient elements this crop must have taken from the soil, and to replenish this quantity of nutrient element in the soil, how much of dry compost needs to be added. Let us do this problem based on table 3. What is that? We should calculate from table 3. As we discussed before about the table 3, the percentage of nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium, salts in the soil, we have discussed before, that is what? Nitrogen will be in rice crop, yield per hectare, kgs or tons, and nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium percent in rice crop. Rice crop will be consume the percentage of nitrogen in the, and it gives a yield of 2240 kgs per hectare, and to generate this much amount of yielding, it utilizes the percentage of nitrogen is 34, phosphorus is 22, potassium is 67. According to table 3, the values are like this. So what they mentioned here, how much nutrient elements this crop must have taken from soil. If a paddy is grown in a field and 5 tons of rice are harvested, so how much nutrient element this crop must taken from the soil? How much rice is producing? 5 tons. Actually, per 1 ton, 1000 kgs. Per 5 tons, 5000 kgs. So let us do here nitrogen content, phosphorus and potassium. Let us do for nitrogen percent. It is 5000 kgs. No, 5000 by the yielding per hectare of rice is 2240 into what is the percentage of nitrogen is required? That is 34. Like that, for phosphorus also let us write 5000 by 2240 into phosphorus requirement is 22. And in case of potassium also 5000 by 2240 into 67. This value should be calculated. First let us find out 5000 divided by 2240. 5240 equal to 0, 0 cancel. 240 means 250s. 2 250s are 500. 2 1 2 1s are 2, 2 1s are 2, 2 2s are 4. 250 by 112. Next 2 1s are 2 2s are 2 2s are 2 5s are. Next 2 5s are 2 6s are 125 by 56. So 125 56 will not be cancelled. Let us do division. 125 56 125. So 56 2s are 1 1 2 112 remains 3 1 then 0. 125 minus 112 130. Next again 56 2s are 1 112 130 minus 112 180. In 56 3s are 168. 1 remain 120. Next 56 2s are 112 remains 8 and 2.232 and so on. So their value may approximately the 2.232 approximately 2.23. Then should apply this value here. 5000 by 2240 into 34 is equal 2.23 what we got through into 34. Is equal to approximately 75.88889. Coming to phosphorus 2.232 into 22 is equal to 49.104 approximately. Next 2.232 into 67 approximately 149.544 is required nutrients for getting that much yield. So these nutrient elements are the crop must have taken by the rice crop. Then next to replenish this quantity of nutrient elements in the soil, how much dry compost is needed to be added? How much dry compost is needed to be added? Actually, a dry compost consists of the percentage of nitrogen is 5 to 10%. 8%, potassium is 6 to 12%. Let us see the largest value of the three nutrients. To replenish these elements in the soil, how much dry compost is needed? Here the dry compost, the values of dry compost, let us take per 1 ton of dry compost, manure, values of NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. The nitrogen values are 5 to 10%, phosphorus is 4 to 8%, potassium is 6 to 12%. Let us take these highest values, 10, 8, 12. So here nitrogen percent, what we got, 75.88. So whenever we calculate this for nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, for nitrogen should do 20.88 by 10, that is value 10. For phosphorus 49.104 by 8. To find out nitrogen percent, here what we got, 75.88 by 10. Largest value of nitrogen percent here in the dry compost, that is 10, is equal to how much? 7.588. 8 means 5899 approximately. So here the value, these tons of dry compost is required. Dry compost is 7.588 at 59, approximately the 7.59 tons of dry compost is required. Same way for phosphorus, what we got, 49.104 by is highest rate 8 is equal to nearly 6.137 tons. Next for potassium, 149.55 by 12 kg of dry compost manure, that is 12, is equal to nearly 12.462 tons. To replenish these elements in the soil, the nutrients in the soil, that too in the dry compost manure, the values are like this. Okay children, organic manure, about the organic manure we have learned now. Now let us discuss about the topic, that is green manures. Green manure crops. Have you ever heard about green manure crops? This is also a type of organic manure. First, some farmers grow some type of plants. They can be used as manure in the fields. Green manure and the green leaf manure. Are the two types in green manures. So let us see some green manure crops, what are they? Here observe the table 6 children. Green manure crops, here they have given the percentage of nitrogen in different green manure crops. These are the examples for green manure crops and what is the content of nitrogen in them. First, lobia, beans. Lobia or beans having the nitrogen content is 7.1. Daincha. What is that? Daincha is consists of 6.2% of nitrogen. Kulthi. Kulthi is having the 3.3% of nitrogen. And green gram is having the 7.2% of nitrogen. Sun hemp is having the 7.5 of nitrogen. Finally, the horse drum is what? Horse drum is having the 8.5% of nitrogen. These are all the green manure crops. The green manure or green leaf manure crops can be grown by the farmers, and these will be plowed back into the soil with the help of tractors when the farmer having the some days of gap. So here in green manure, when the farmer is not having this much time to grow these crops, then they can suggest to follow this method, that is green leaf manure. Green leaf manure means any plant leaves can be used as green leaf manure. Children, do you observe here? Here all these green manure plants belongs to Leguminaceae family, belongs to leguminous plants. Here, find out whether all these green manure crops mentioned in the table 6 are leguminous crops. Why the leguminous crops are selected by the farmer to grow in the fields? Reason, what is the reason? The leguminous plants have the root nodules on the roots. As you know, these legume plants root nodules are the shelter for kind of nitrogen fixing bacteria. This bacteria helps to fix nitrogen in the soil. So fix nitrogen in the soil. So that is the reason farmer select these legume crops as a green manure crops. After growing these green manure crops in the field, they will be plowed back into the soil with the help of a tractor. Then when a farmer won't get this much time to grow these green manure crops, then he will be suggested to do green leaf manure. Any of the plant leaves can be used as a green leaf manure. Then if the total weight of green manure crop is in the field 8 to 25 tons per hectare, the amount of nitrogen it provides on being plowed back into the soil is 70 kg. If a field is having 1 hectare land, the field is cultivated with 1 hectare. So 1 hectare of land can grow 8 to 25 tons of green manure plants. Tons of green manure plants. 1 hectare of land in 1 hectare of land, in an area of 1 hectare of land, 8 to 25 tons of green manure crops can be grown. Then these 8 to 25 tons of green manure crops will give 70 to 90 kgs of nitrogen salts. To 90 kgs of nitrogen. If an area of 1 hectare land is grown with the green manure crops, that gives 8 to 25 tons of green manure crops can be grown in that particular 1 hectare of area. Then these green manure crops will give the 70 to 90 kgs of nitrogen per hectare. So green manure crops also a type of organic manure. These organic manures are green manure crops. Both of them are naturally grown and plowed back into the soil. They add more and more nutrients to the soil and helps the soil to improve the soil fertility and humus, and also improvise the water holding capacity or water retaining capacity. So instead of using artificial fertilizers, the using of organic manure will not be having any of the side effects. These are many advantages using the organic manure. So this is about today's class about organic manure, how many types it is categorized, what is concentrated organic manure and macro-organic manure, and what are the examples for them, and what is green leaf manure, and what are the how many times it is, and then how much nutrient content is required by different crops. Here they have mentioned different types of manures and what are green manure crops we have learned today in today's class. Did you all understand, children? I hope you all understand well and study well. Thank you, children.